So what if retirement isn't as far away as you might think? We were talking the other day, Corrie, about how there's a lot of folks that would rather retire earlier than this supposed 65-year-old time frame. The good news is in America, there's a lot of high earners. They might earn between $200,000 to $400,000. They've got their career going. They've kind of covered all the bases. They're doing their 401ks and other types of investments, but they have some money left over. Mm-hmm. And you were asking, well, what, how should we talk to them and let them know what we're doing?
Yeah, and I think it's especially true for people in their 30s and 40s. They see the ideal of retiring, but they don't see that that's a tangible or soon enough. They're making good money, but between kids and their taxes and expenses and saving for the future, it can still feel like they're just not getting ahead fast enough. And I know several people, I have acquaintances that are like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to retire.
Yeah, I think acceleration is what most people are looking for. And so one of the words that I share with them when we're talking about financials amongst ourselves and how we help investors is multiplication. Because addition just goes too slow. It takes too many years, too many incremental things come out of a paycheck to add up to enough. So we found a way to help people accelerate and get to retirement early.
So different than like the traditional investments, because I feel like what you were saying where you're dropping pennies in a bucket comes out of your paycheck and it just feels like it just drops in there, but the growth is slow. You log into your investment account and you're like, okay, look, the trajectory is going great. I'm 12% annually this year, and then the next year you're at 4%.
Yeah.
And so I do feel like you just don't feel like it's that steady growth. It is that addition versus that multiplication factor. And that just feels like it's not tangible and it's not actually going to happen, and you feel like you're always trying to catch up.
So it seems like the key then is getting involved in investments that pay double-digit figures, at least on a return, and where it's consistent and repeats. So now the process moves a lot faster.
So that's not the traditional.
Right.
But I think that so many people, they don't know that there's a different way. And I think that I know so many people that think that the pouring money into their 401k, that's the traditional way, that's what your parents tell you to do, that's what your job tells you to do. Right. But I think so many people aren't educated that there is an alternative way, and that's what we want to make sure that we're educating people on as well, is that it's a newsflash, there's a different way. You don't always have to go with the traditional pathway, there's an alternative pathway, and that's where you get the double
You're right
digits.
about that. I think you're absolutely right. Alternative gives you an opportunity for a greater amount of return, which then multiplies faster. So why don't we use a specific example to help people understand that? So if you're getting 15% annualized returns, for instance, like we offer with our investments.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Especially if it's year over year over year over year with no
not
loss.
Not like your 401k does and your IRA.
So it's not that volatile heart monitor thing. It's actually just straight up mountain, like our mind wants it to go, and like we think when we picture investing, it just grows. And so we offer people an opportunity through alternative investing options to get that consistent return. So if we did some math real quick, I would say if you're 35 years old, which is in your age bracket, right? Many people you know. If they wanted to retire by 55 instead of 65, and they got 15% return every year for those 20 years, if they put $100,000 in one time and never put any more money in, do you have any idea how much money they would have at 55?
Gotta do that. I need a calculator.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I already did a calculation, so let's go ahead and share with them. $100,000 at age 35 becomes $1.6 million at age 55 with no additional contributions. What do you think of that, first of all?
Yeah, great. And you don't have to keep you're reinvesting the same $100,000. You're not having to pour more money, which I think so often it gets pulled right from your paychecks. You're not even realizing that how much you're putting in versus just putting in that sum and letting it grow.
Yes.
Which is what retirement should be, and that's how it should look.
Well, that's what we want it to be, at least. And so we found ways to help people get that. And so one of the things that you save money for, though, is for what purpose? When you get to a certain age, what do you want to turn that money into?
Financial freedom.
Yeah.
Ability to enjoy life and your kids.
Sure. And I think those are things that you want to do with your time. In order to do that, you need more income, right?
Sure.
Where you're not working. And so 1.6 million, what would that be at age 55? How much money, do you know? income-wise?
50,000.
That's pretty close, yeah. $64,000 a year for one $100,000 contribution 20 years earlier. How long will that money last?
Well, wait, I'd hope till I'm about 90, right? Isn't that cool?
That's a long time, right? 55 to 90,
Yeah.
that's what, 40 years?
Yeah.
Not quite.
Not quite.
35 years. Okay, but the good news is it lasts your lifetime and the lifetime of your children and the lifetime of your grandchildren.
And that's what we're trying to build here, is that legacy and being able to leave a legacy of wealth.
While
for-
still
yeah.
retiring early.
Right.
A great combination. So when you get to that situation, I would think that if you're in the middle of that and you're 45 and you've had 10 years of growth and your money's already at like 4, 5, 6, 800,000 and you put 100,000 in, you probably want to do what?
Reinvest.
Yeah, contribute more.
Yeah.
Right? If this is working
Yeah.
so great, honey, can we find
Just
another
keep
50?
going.
Can we put
Right.
another 100? And now you'd have multiple millions for just a couple contributions. And that turns into even more income. And of course, you're going to combine this income with other streams of income,
Sure.
like Social Security or whatever you saved in these
And
traditional
it's not that
investments.
these traditional investments are wrong. Like
No.
we've said, this is just,
Right.
it's part of a plan
Part of
versus
a whole
being
plan.
the plan. And I
Yeah.
think that's what people need to understand a little bit better, is that early retirement might be possible if you add in these alternative investments with your traditional plan.
And I think this reason we wanted to make this video was because it came out of natural conversation about friends and people that are looking for a way. How can we accelerate and move forward and get there quicker? And then we actually do it in a way that you can not only just get there quicker, it lasts forever.
I think thinking beyond the traditional pathway is
Absolutely.
key.